This is an Alliance podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the For the Culture podcast, soccer podcast for us, by us, talking about the intersection of black culture and soccer. Got your boy here, Grego. Got your boy here, TK over here in the ones and twos. Mayor Kid is back in the house. What's good with you, man?
Good, man. Glad to be back.
Out here saving the world. TK, how goes it?
It goes well. It goes well, sir. I have no complaints on my end. Tuesday. Let's hit it.
Yeah, man. This International Week, which means actually a pretty big week for the good old USA and everything. We got Olympic qualifiers going on. We got the senior team got friendlies this weekend with Jamaica and Northern Ireland. We played Northern Ireland quite a bit lately, but yeah, we definitely got gonna hit up the national team and to join us on that, we actually got two special guests. First off, all the way out from San Jose, she's the capo of San Jose Earthquake. She's the president of AO San Jose. She is a Wonder Woman of all shapes and sizes. Miss Crystal Cuadra-Cutler, what is going on with you?
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. And then that's not all. We got one guest that we have been meaning to get this guy on pretty much damn near since day one. Cause like we go back like Gerber. We go back like, don't tread on this. We go back so far back, but definitely a guy that many people know. American Outlaws, done commercials, been on advertisements, been on everything. Like, if you don't know his face by now, you just haven't been following U.S. soccer. But give it up to my man and the original mayor of American Outlaws, Mr. Donald Wine. What is going on with you?
Yo, what's going on, man? It's been a minute. I have been waiting for the call. I'm honored to receive it, and also glad to be sharing with all of you guys. Shout out to the other mayor in the group and to my homegirl Crystal. Really good. We see each other all the time, so it's good to see you for the second time in 24 hours. But it's great to be here with y'all.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. Like I did not think it would take this long for us to get you on the show, but I'm glad that we finally got you on. Like, so we go way back. Like,
it's probably been a decade.
Yeah,
a full decade.
Yeah, like
that's what's up.
Because I remember like when we had Prez on the show, and it was like, man, we've been going through a whole lot.
We used to go to games when everyone was like, wait, there's multiple black people at the games, and like, yo, we found each other. We're all here.
Oh God, we got another homie, Antonio. Like we were, he's from LA, but he stays here in Atlanta now. And we were talking about that over the summer. And it's like, we actually had that same exact conversation. It was like when everybody would go to games, it was like, hold up. Like, aren't you? Hold up. And you're not? Man, they get us confused all the time. They still do. Crystal doesn't. Crystal and I go way back too, but there's definitely people who are just like, I definitely know you, man. You're Brandon. And I'm like, no, not Brandon, but good try. It was good. I mean, at least you're not Hank. So, there's that. Oh God. But yes, thank you guys. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Thank you guys for joining us this week. Of course, you can always find us on your favorite podcast apps, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, iHeartRadio, everywhere. All that good jazz, and also on the FTCUTD YouTube channel. You can see all our faces, all the chocolate faces in the house, and also Lord French Vanilla down here, and that's what's up.
Well, you know.
But yeah, man. Like I said, it's International Week, and this is actually a pretty big week for the U.S. Of course, it already got started over the weekend with the U23s trying to qualify for the Olympics in Tokyo. They're 2-0. First played Costa Rica. They won 1-0, and then on Sunday they beat the Dominican Republic 4-0. What's been your guys' thoughts so far on like how everything's been going?
Crystal?
I don't know. I've been a little let down in some of it. Some of like that first half of that Dominican Republic game was rough. Like I know some of us in this chat in this pod right now had some feelings about that first half. Got a lot better in that second half. Needed to make some changes tactically, but I think it's pretty smooth sailing at this point. I mean, it really doesn't matter what happens against that Mexico game. I mean, it's Mexico. You're still going to want to get the win because the rivalry and all that, but it really doesn't matter in the scheme of things. Really just need to win in this semifinal, and then we'll qualify for the first time in 2 cycles we missed. So this is a big deal.
Yeah, it's been quite a long time since the men have qualified for the Olympics. Last time they made it was 2008, and I think you can definitely argue that a lot of what ultimately happened with the men's national team can definitely be attributed to the fact that we haven't been to the Olympics in forever, and we haven't those young players were able to use that as a launch pad to get onto the senior team, and eventually we got too old, and then Trinidad happened. So yeah, we hash that right now. It's still too soon, but yeah, like who have you guys been seeing so far that you kind of like, and like what would you like to see from the team, like in the knockout stages?
For me, it's consistency in the attacking end. They have been very timid, it seems. I would say the guy that I like, that I've seen a little bit, but I've been very impressed by what I've seen so far, is Hassani Dotson. He scored 2 goals the other day, but he has an air about him that he feels confident. He actually is the guy that has the most experience of this group on the U23 level. He's been in the last 5 or 6 U23 camps, and he's just been that guy that's been under the radar in Major League Soccer. But on the U23 level, he apparently is CONCACAF God, because he just, keeps scoring goals. So I think when it comes to the attacking third, we just need to be much more focused and polished. I will say this, in the spirit of March, we survived and advanced in the first 2 games, because it all comes down. I mean, tomorrow, the game against Mexico was going to be big, but it's not the biggest game. And that's rare for a U.S.-Mexico game to be second fiddle. The big game is Sunday when we're in the semifinal, because the winner goes to the Olympics. The loser goes home and does not go to the Olympics. So that is the one game. It will be interesting to see who comes out of the group between, I believe, Honduras and Canada on Thursday, because we'll be playing. It seems like we'll be playing one of those 2 teams. That's going to be the real game, and that's kind of where we're all kind of on pins and needles waiting for.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Yeah, I think that, of course, by the time that this episode hits, I think the Mexico game will just either be about to play or ongoing as the episode drops. But yeah, I definitely think that it's always just difficult with the U23s, because it's not technically on the calendar, and you can't call up absolutely everybody that you want, because all this considered, all of our best players would technically be considered U23 right now. We could technically have a loaded team if we wanted to. Of course, we got the Olympics this summer. Well, we hope to have the Olympics this summer. Then we also have the Gold Cup as well. It seems like everything just kind of falling in a weird spot, because it feels like the last 4 years, we've had so few competitive games to really worry about. So it's almost like people want to see some actual competition. That's why I'm actually happy to have these games right now, and hopefully we can qualify. What you got, TK? No, we can't hear you, man. See,
Honestly, man, I'm just hoping we qualify. Just wait for the game on Sunday and just hope for the best.
Absolutely, I think that the game against the Dominican Republic, like it felt like honestly, I didn't even like tweet anything during the first half. I was like, this game is like moving like molasses, and what was Mihalovic that came in the second half that like things started to turn around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I definitely think that we definitely need a 10 of some sort to drive the attack. At least in the opportunities that he's gotten with the senior team, I think that he has at least the want to. Just a matter of getting the opportunities. I think that Jason Christ, the head coach for the U23s, I think he'll try to figure out like what's his best mix right now. But I do think that at least from what he got with the in the second half against the Dominican Republic, he might at least have a better idea now as far as who he wants going forward. Because really, like you said before, it's really just one more game, and then if we can get that semifinal, we're good. We're good.
I mean, I hope he's got it together. Because first half, I was saying some things about him. Because if I felt like the second half was despite the tactics that he had in the first. Like the guys were able to overcome it. We've seen that a lot with some of our U.S. coaches, where we see the players on field just kind of overcame the obstacles of the tactics.
Right.
But we the first half, like you said, it was moving so slow, and we're like, do something to switch it up, and it just wasn't coming. And luckily, a couple of the subs in the second half came in, and then Dotson kind of turned it on, and Mihalovic turned it on. That's what really saved them, but it wasn't necessarily like they changed anything or made any adjustments.
Yeah. Of course, you and I have been following the national team for far too long, and so like we've been through this where it seems like there's a lot of potential with the U23 team, and then they don't qualify, and it just doesn't work out. Do you have more optimism this time around as far as where that we can qualify for the Olympics?
Yeah, because we qualified for the semifinal. The last two times we didn't even do that. So
right.
there's your step of optimism right there.
Right.
But I feel like, I mean, Crystal, right? Like I feel like that is we've gotten a little bit further than we normally do, and now let's just go ahead and do the whole thing.
Right, exactly. And I think, on paper, and we know games aren't played on paper, but on paper, it looks like this is something that we can easily do, something that we can qualify. Getting to the semifinals is what we needed to do. And so I'm optimistic. I think we make it.
How you feel over there, Mayor?
I share sentiment, feel optimistic. Just seeing the growth of the organization of the team. We've had plenty of pods where we've just, we've talked about, things that we wish would change and would get better. And I think we're on the road to seeing a bright future for the U23s, for the senior team, just the program as a whole. So,
yeah, I'm hoping for the best there. Like I said, it's so hard sometimes because like I said, we've been through this. It's like it feels so good, and then all of a sudden, like I was in one of my chats early in the week, and I was talking about the 2012 team and like how that last minute goal against El Salvador. And I was like, man, like we were right there. We really were right there, and just to give up that last minute goal, I was like, yeah, you want to avoid those type of things to where it basically prevents a whole generation from really breaking through. And like we've had a lot of potential with our youngsters, and of course I think we're at the point now where it's too much to really hold back. So hopefully they're able to qualify and get those opportunities. Because I actually like where our senior team is going, and I think that only to strengthen that depth would go a long way. So yeah, we have the senior teams. They play on Sunday against Jamaica. Can I get one good favor out of you? Good.
We play Thursday.
Outlaws. Oh wait, hold up. Get this
Thursday against Jamaica.
Sunday against Northern Ireland.
Okay, gotcha. Can I just get one quick favor of you, dear American Outlaws? Can we just finally get McKinney, Adams, and Pulisic together all at one time? Is there something that's preventing them in their contracts to just be like, we can't have them all together at one time?
I reviewed the contracts. I didn't see that. But
I mean, you're going to the White House tomorrow. Like you got to go and get this straight.
Yeah, well, that's the women's team. I can throw any combination of players out there, and they're the best team on the planet. But I think for the men, they have played one time. Those three guys have been on the field one time, and that was against England back in 2018, I think, November or so, 2018. They were on the field for like 10 minutes together. Other than that, it was always like, and this is the same, right? There's always, the last time it was going to be close was the Gold Cup in 2019. They all got called up, and then all of a sudden, like, Tyler Adams showed up. Tyler Adams showed up and was like, yo, my quad hurt, and like those two guys are here, so you know how that is. Like we can't all be together because the world will end. So let me break up out of here. Like we'll finally get it one time.
It's like Hancock. You can't be too close together all at one
time.
Can't be too
close.
Otherwise, the world's gonna just fall apart. So I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But
I mean, just think World Cup qualifying. I think it is good in a way because we know how we can play with each of those players on the field. The one thing that I hope we get before World Cup qualifying is them playing together. Like those three, Musa, Dest, like getting all those guys on the field at once. Our best players, John Brooks, like get them all on the field so that we can see how they perform together and see what tweaks we need to, if like one guy's out of place or, how we move around. We need to figure that out because when World Cup qualifying hits, there's no experimental lineups. We can't have that. We got to go straight for the gusto.
And that's been the real tough part because, due to COVID, we haven't had too many friendlies whatsoever. Like we finally got a chance to start playing at the end of last year. But of course, it was like either you have a European roster or you have an MLS roster. Like we really haven't had like a full A squad roster with everybody that available to us. Like this is probably the closest that we've gotten since 2019. Like it's been a long time. It's been a long time, and like I guess the question there is like, because so much has changed since then. Like what are you guys expecting out of the national team like now? Because like I think the last time everybody was in like this, Pulisic was barely featuring yet with Chelsea. Of course, fast forward to now, TK, he's still kind of like, he's basically been like a super sub. but yeah, I think
that's a stretch.
But I like what are you guys expecting? Like, because everyone's kind of grown so much since then.
Like I don't even know. I mean, there's so many guys now that have come up and come through. I mean, we don't get the chance always, like you've been saying, we don't get the chance to see them. I think with this, the upcoming friendlies, there's going to be some folks that are leaving. I know that keeps changing of who's going to be leaving before the second match and who's going to be in, only for the first match or staying for goals. I think that these are going to be some good games. And we're going to get to see, like we said, what we've wanted to see, some of these players playing together for the first time. But,
you're good.
Did I get? I'm good. I was like, wait, I think I just lost my connection. No, I'm good. Okay. So ultimately, I'm optimistic about everything. It's kind of cool at this point to really start seeing that depth that we really haven't had before, and they're all young. So I'm almost wondering how this is going to play out with all the players that we do have. Because I think we're getting to the point of a little bit of a blessing of riches. And so let's see.
I think for me, the one thing that's guaranteed going forward with the depth that we are gaining is that every roster that comes out can only be like 23, 24, 25, 26 players. And undoubtedly, someone's going to be like, why didn't this guy get called in? Why didn't this guy get called in? Why don't we have these guys? Who's this guy? Why this guy MLS is on the team? There are some people who think that the team should solely consist of European players. And there's some people who think that like their dude in third division, Bulgaria should be starting over Sargent and out the door. Like it's undoubtedly how that's going to work. We could have 23 guys that everyone thinks are the best 23 in America. And those 23 could make the roster, and someone's going to be like, what about number 24? It's just like the NCAA tournament. Every single time there's a snub of someone who's like, my team in a mid-major did make it. The NCAA tournament is biased. Here is the same thing. Like Matthew Hoppe didn't make the team because of quarantine, and people were still like, Berhalter's got to go because he didn't call him Matthew Hoppe. Like, it just is how it is. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's a tough deal because, like, I want to say, like, when the roster first came out, honestly, like, I really found very few complaints. Like, it actually took me a second to really realize that McKinney wasn't even on the team, and I was like, to me, that's a good thing that you can be like, you're missing one of probably your top two players, and you're like, you know what? I still feel pretty good. Like there'll be years where if we were missing that type of impact player, we'd be like, oh, well, I guess that's it.
Ah, shit.
What it definitely does testify to how much deeper we're getting. Because I definitely think with guys like Yunus Musa committing to the U.S., there's two more players that I heard that are at least contemplating joining the U.S. Is that correct? Like one player for Arsenal?
Oh, Florent Balogun is considering it. Okay. Jordan Sebachu from France, he committed the week before Musa.
Nice.
We got Perea, was that last month? So we have three guys that have committed in the last couple of months, and each of them provide a different dynamic. Perea's on the U23 team right now, and then Sebachu just got called in to the senior team earlier this week. So it'll be exciting to see him play on the national stage, hopefully for the first time. Hopefully he gets into one of these games.
Has it been surprising to see Berhalter kind of go almost kind of Klinsmann mode as far as just seeking out all these dual nets? Like, as I didn't expect him to do it because I think like at the beginning of his run, it was damn near like it seemed like he was only saw you MLS players and that was it. Now it's like, yeah, I'm searching everywhere.
I love it. I mean, and I want him to get more credit than he's been getting. Because a lot of people, when Des committed, Des was like, yo, Berhalter flew all the way over and saw me and talked to me, and I really liked what he had to say. And everyone was like, oh, well, Berhalter had nothing to do with it. When it came out of Des' mouth that he was everything that had to do with it. Musa talked about the coaching staff, the players. Perea has done the same thing. They've been doing a great job at making sure they feel welcome. Even with Efrain Alvarez going to Mexico, their camp, Berhalter was like, yeah, I wanted him to go. I told him go and get that experience and then, compare that to the experience that we gave you. And hopefully, we think that our experience will be better, but you can't know that until you go and see how the other side lives. Like that's a flex. Like he's flexing at this point now. Like he's telling people, yo, go to Mexico and see how they work. And then you come back and tell me that you're committing. That's great.
You know what though? Cause like, I want to say that, especially considering where the energy was with the national team, with the men's national team before COVID, you can honestly say that COVID was probably the best thing that probably happened for Berhalter and the national team. Like, it allowed him to kind of take a step back and, review everything and really, take on this job with a whole new energy. I think that we've honestly been better for. Of course, it's helped that our top players have really stepped up with their club situations and really improved on the individual level, but he's also taken the time to improve on his end as well. And I guess it's been, of course, with the matches at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, I think considering the competition, it's kind of hard to really see like where we are for sure, but at least I think that we're moving in a positive direction. And given where we've been the last 4 years, we kind of need that.
Yeah, I agree. I think the hard reset of COVID, like that stopped for 3 or 4 months, really helped our players recover from injuries that they had. And if you saw right at the beginning of the restart for all these leagues, Bundesliga, EPL, both, McKinney came out swinging hard. Reyna came out swinging hard. Like, he wasn't really playing before that. After he came out banging, just banging in goals and helping people, him and Haaland formed this wonder strike partnership. You had Adams, who was just excelling in Champions League, and then you have Pulisic, who just went on a run that Chelsea has seen by like few people in the last 5 years that are not named Didier Drogba. Like, those are the things that you wanted to see. And it even Dest, like, used his role to parlay into the springboard to Barcelona. Like that, the guys were able to reset and recharge, and they were the ones that came out saying, all right, we had a whole summer where everyone's looking at us, and everyone, all these teams are losing money. They're going to try and go after some good talent at quote unquote cheaper prices. Why not us? And they went out and went and got theirs. That's the best thing about COVID. If there's a silver lining to COVID, is that these guys were able to do that reset and really take advantage of it.
Absolutely. And of course, we would be remiss if we didn't hit up, our crown jewel of the U.S. soccer program, the women's national team. Of course, they just announced their squad for the air friendlies coming up against France and Sweden. So it's a pretty big friendlies coming up. Of course, they just came off of winning the She Believes Cup. So last month? Yeah, last month. And needless to say, there was a lot of good things that happened in the She Believes Cup, but of course we definitely left with some controversy that it's almost like, hey, remember we won a cup? Remember that? And with the anthem situation, of course, everyone decided to stop with the protests, and then that led it to the AGM meetings like a week or so later, and our good buddy Seth John, I guess.
Hold up. Man, don't call it.
Is that your boy or?
No, bro. We ain't claiming that on this pod, bro. Absolutely not. There's two right there. Ain't my boy. Rashad? Is that your boy?
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
The pendulum swings back over here.
I have not claimed him.
Please continue, sir.
Don't put that old evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Exactly.
But yeah, I guess the big question there is that, do y'all feel like there's harmony right now with the women's team? Because I feel like, especially with some of the comments that Crystal Dunn made as far as her choosing to no longer kneel during the anthem, it doesn't sound like they were they'd even really talked about it within the team. What's y'all's vibe as far as where they're going right now? Of course, they're about to start with qualifications for Olympics as well too.
You want to go or you want me, Chris? Because I got thoughts.
Go ahead. You got fire.
Give us thoughts.
So
yeah, go
I
with your thoughts,
was on
man.
that. Yeah, I was on that press conference with her.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I saw her eyes. She was saying, yeah, we decided to stand. We've done the talking. We want to do more action. But I saw her eyes, and her eyes told me, yo, they're not doing this no more. So it's on us to conform that way as opposed to bringing everybody else to our side. I'm not going to speculate on whether, everything is completely 1000% harmonious, because I guarantee you it's not. No team is completely harmonious. But when it comes to that part, they're all not on the same page. There are a lot of them that may be on the same page, but there are some that are not. And the problem is, I think that some are the ones that are carrying this conversation. They're the ones that are ended up winning, right? Like normally, if it's almost like a jury. Jury has to come back all in favor, right? Mm-hmm. And because one is not in favor, we gotta sit there until everybody's in favor. They're not doing that. The one person was in favor, and they're just like, hung jury, we're just gonna go back to what we're doing. And I could tell that from her eyes and I also could tell the hurt in her eyes that she had to be the one to come out and address the media and be fed that question, because it should have been someone else, some other people on the team who had been standing the whole time. And of course, and the thing was, she should have been on the press conference because she was the best player of the tournament. And she didn't get to talk about that. She had to come out there and face media and talk about her teammates that weren't standing up for her in the locker room, weren't standing up for, well, they were definitely standing on the field. But she had to come out, and I could tell she's like, not only do I have to sit here and field these questions, I don't get to talk about the fact that I had a hell of a tournament. And so I was trying to feed her questions that were kind of based on that. Like, yo, you had a great tournament. Tell me what you did. So she could kind of end on a happy note, but I never got a chance to ask those questions. But it definitely, you could see the hurt and pain. And I think going forward, they're just going to be standing until something else happens, until some other, tree shaking happens. I don't know what that's going to be.
What you got, Crystal?
This is bullshit. This is just bullshit.
She put it way better than I did.
That's all you say. I mean, I caught a pod with Midge Purse. I think it was like the U.S. soccer pod. And she talked about like how, hard it was for her having to explain to her teammates why this mattered, and just education and disparity of people not coming together. And yeah, absolutely. I could understand that it's going to be like Donald said, it's like that one or two people that are just have a strong influence. And if everyone's not on board, then that's it. That's the decision. I think it's just bullshit. Like I said, keeping it 100. I think that if they're doing the work behind the scenes, cool. But I don't think that anything happens until we see something else happen. Until there's another incident.
They keep talking about all the stuff that they're doing behind the scenes, but we haven't seen it. And so when we ask them, what have you done? They always talk about things that are coming. Oh yeah, we're about to do this. We're talking with them on that. We're discussing this. And never once has someone said, hey, by the way, we got together and we did blank, or we are going to do blank, and it's going to happen at this next game. So it'll be interesting to see what'll happen, especially in France, because France also has their own inner turmoil amongst their team, and they also have been battling the same type of thing with them.
Shocking.
Yeah, I know, right? And so I don't know like how that's going to work abroad, because if you think about it, we've been doing all this at home. We haven't been doing it abroad yet. I don't know if that's going to translate abroad. So that is going to be an interesting thing, an interesting dynamic. I know they did it in the Netherlands, but it wasn't really, you could tell it was just very new. Now at a certain point, there's going to be some of the outspoken players that are going to need to speak up more. Because clearly, like Crystal was like, I can't even speak up. I'm one of the best players in the world, and I don't even have the respect to speak up about my own issue, the issue that is facing me on my own team. I think that's a shame.
It needs to be the white allies that need to speak up. It really does. It can't just be Crystal being the voice of the whole thing and having to carry all the weight. That's not fair.
Yeah, and on the white side, it can't be just Megan, because Megan is very outspoken. She's so outspoken that people have stopped listening to her.
Yeah, Midge did drop some names in that podcast that she did of some of her allies that are basically helping her out with Black Players Collective. And I think she even name dropped that, like, oh, you need to contact, whatever player it was to hook up with them about whatever project. So there are definitely some of those folks that are advocates and allies, but there needs to be more of that besides, like you're saying, Megan.
Yeah,
be public.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that what you got, Rashad? I'm trying to piece up my thoughts together. What you got?
I'm just thinking just out loud, just the climate the climate that we've been living in, like during this pandemic, just all these social issues that have been under a microscope, the conversations that we've been having, in a medium like this amongst friends and family, and just in different environments, that the ignorance that still exists around these issues within and out of soccer is amazing. I really don't know how to put it in words. Like, you're trying to formulate your words. I'm trying to express it the best way I can. And it's just mind blowing that some people just don't get it.
Yeah.
They refuse to get it. They don't get it. They don't care. It's just amazing. And especially when you're on a team, you know, you're practicing together. You live together in some instances. You're playing together. You have to rely on other people's talent, their time, their sweat equity, everything. And to not care says a lot. Or not to even try to understand what people are going through says a lot. And you're on the pitch. You're fighting and playing with these people. Blood, sweat, and tears. And to just, it just amazes me every time I think about that. And even Crystal wearing that beautiful shirt you're wearing.
Yeah, that one.
We'll get on that in just a second.
These things just, we just can't get, we're allowing ourselves to not grow. We're still, like, we take 2 steps forward, we take 5 backwards, and we can never take, you know, we can never make progress. And it's just, it blows my mind every morning. I wake up, I'm just like, dang, another instance, another situation. It's like, where do we go?
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. And especially with everything that's happened in the last couple of weeks, you know, of course, the shootings here in Atlanta, the shooting yesterday in Boulder. You would think that between the lockdown, the pandemic, the protests, that at some point you'd be like, you know what, I need to see what's going on here and at least try to understand, because it's clearly people are trying to speak and say something, and for us to be a year into since the first lockdown, we're still in a lot of ways still wrestling with this, or at least, like, I don't expect everything to be solved, but at the same time, I would like to see a situation where people are at least starting to listen and be like, hey, what's this about? What can, like, how can I affect change? Because it might not be, you know, the biggest, you know, worldwide change, but it starts with one. It always just starts with one, and it kind of goes from there. But again, we're looking forward to all these games, and I said, but there was one last question that I wanted to kind of pose to everyone, because you guys know, y'all been thick of it for the last decade or so with the national team. I definitely would say that the last 4 years have definitely been the most tumultuous, you know, between the men missing out on the 2018 World Cup and the wilderness that's basically been it's gone on since then. The women, even despite winning the World Cup, they've had their issues with the lawsuit for equal pay. What do you think it would take to kind of bring the fan base and just kind of the good vibes back to the U.S. soccer program?
I think for me,
I don't know.
Go ahead, Crystal.
I was gonna say, I don't know. These are things that we, like, you know, Donald and I talk about, like, what are we thinking for just, you know, on the trickle down of in our stadiums, what's this going to look like when we finally get back after all these changes and all the things that we've gone through over the last 4 years, and people really starting to focus again on the program. So your guess is as good as mine. It's so difficult with everything going on. How is this going to be, like I said, trickle down? We've already talked about the women. How is this going to be in the stands? How is it going to be with the men in the stands? Because that's a very different environment. We already had our own issues. Like they already existed. So this is going to be, you know, I think this is going to be make or break it. Like once we're finally, everyone's out and free in the world, it's gonna be make or break this program.
Actually, that reminds me of something, because even with American Outlaws, like there was the incident back in December in Orlando. Like I said, like it just feels like right now the energy is just funky right now in a lot of different ways, and it's crazy, because I think for everyone that's followed the national team for 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 years, it's definitely a different energy around the national teams, around U.S. soccer as a whole, and like I said, it's affected the Outlaws themselves, and like I think that we are all in need of just something that'll actually bring us all together.
I mean, honestly, this is the wrong answer for me, but this is the answer that it is. Winning is going to bring people back. That's the simplest answer, because if you think about it, the last 4 years has been the snarkiest, most, like you said, tumultuous, just downgrading type of, crap that we've had to go through. Anytime someone says U.S. men's national team, like, people have raced to be the snarkiest. They raced to be the most down on the team because it was cool to do it, because they earned it, right? In a way, they earned it. They didn't make the World Cup, so people were like, we can shit on them as much as we want. And now we got some optimism, as we talked about. We have a light at the end of the tunnel. We're starting to see a finish line, at least for us, kind of emerge back. And now it's cool to be high on the national team again. It's cool, like, yeah, that's my boy. I've been watching him since he was like 18 years old, and he was, whatever, right? People are starting to do that. Christian Pulisic, the guy watched him, and he was in Hershey, man. He's the man. Like, he was. People forget, Christian was on that field in Cuba. I know. I was there. I was at the game. He was on that field. Areola was on that field. There were guys who people love that were on that field, but they put the onus on a couple of players, including one, Josie, who is the only player to date that has apologized for that game to the fans. And he did it that night. He was the only guy. But I say this because to get people back into the stands, they have to recognize, and we, as Outlaws, we have to be a part of it. I know you guys are doing that in Atlanta. You get in Major League Soccer, all these different supporters groups are trying to do it in their own different ways, but we have to be at a point where we have to recognize that off the field, these players are people just like us. They go to the same supermarkets as us. They go to church with us. They go to the clubs with us. They do everything as people. And there are too many people that are in sports, that love sports, that follow sports, that think of them just as entertainment. And that mentality has to change. If that is the thing if people want to go back to normal, and the normal includes them thinking of them as just entertainment, I don't want that normal anymore. I want people to realize that these guys need to be respected. And if something's hurting Serginho Dest to the point where he feels like he can't play, if something's hurting DeAndre Yellen to the point where he feels he can't play for his national team ever again, that should be pain that we all feel. And that should be something where we're like, yo, he is an integral part of the society. He's an integral part of our national team, of our soccer family, and we need to do what we need to do so that he can feel comfortable playing again. No one did that. They just wrote him off and said, well, he's too old, fine, bye. Like, we can't have that anymore. And that's where I think U.S. soccer as a whole needs to be out in front of that. American Outlaws needs to be out in front of that. All supporters groups need to be out in front of that. And people in whole need to look and say, look, this dude could be my neighbor. He could be my friend, and he needs to be respected like I would want my mom or my dad or my brother or my sister or whoever to be respected. But people just don't want to do that. So until that happens, we won't fully be together. That's unfortunate, but we have to work on that every single day. And because the haters aren't taking a day off. Trust me. I see it every day.
Not in a little bit. That's why the shirt says 0. That's why the shirt says 0. But,
evergreen.
Try to tell you, man, because it doesn't stop. Of course, we saw over the weekend supporters out in Slavia Prague basically come out with a banner. I forgot for which player it was exactly. I have to pull it up real quick. But
it was Kamara, right? Kamara for Was that it?
Kamara.
Yeah.
And basically, they just said like, "Hey, he's just a nigger." I'm like, "Oh, that's just how we feel now." Like, and mind you, that's for that team. Like, he plays for them. He plays for that badge. And I'm like, damn, it's just like that.
Look, I know they've advanced over Rangers in Europa and they play Arsenal. I'm not an Arsenal fan by any stretch, but I got a Aubameyang Black Lives Matter Arsenal jersey in my closet. I pray to God that Abba channels Wakanda and scores like 18 goals and does the Wakanda salute every single time in front of their supporters. I swear, like I will be the biggest Arsenal fan when they play. I want them to get just absolutely demolished into oblivion. I want them to have to find a new name when they're done. That's how bad I want Slavia Prague to lose now.
See, I used to follow Arsenal real tightly, but then I got this U.S. life and I got my local team. I ain't got time for a lot of this European stuff. I will go dig through the cobwebs in my closet and I will pull out that Arsenal jersey. I will put that on and I will rep that for that whole game because this ain't okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Europe, real quick, I don't know how you felt about that Liverpool draw.
I feel fine. So the best joke going between the two fan bases are the matchup is Injuries CF versus Injuries FC. Because and it was like you're like, are you making fun of us? Oh no, you're making fun of both of us. Cool. Yeah, you know what? That's fine. Yeah. It's the Spider-Man meme. We're just but like, yeah, I think it's fine. I saw the video of what's his face, Salah doing the little climb with his shoulders, and I'm like, yo man, do not poke the bear because Ramos is back and he knows you have two shoulders and he already destroyed one of them.
Wow.
I'm not telling him to do that. I'm just saying, don't tell a man like if I told Mike Tyson, like, yo, are you hungry? Don't put an ear in front of him. We've seen what he can do with it. Like, and I'm not saying that because I don't like the man. I'm just saying don't do something you know has already happened. The man has ripped your arm out the socket already. Don't give him the other one and say, oh, this one's strong too. Because, and I think for Liverpool and Real Madrid just needs to be consistent, which we haven't been. And if they're consistent, then I think they have it. But I definitely like this better than the other side of the draw. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we got so let's take a look at the Champions League draw. We got Man City and Borussia Dortmund, FC Porto and Chelsea, the Mourinho Derby, Bayern Munich and PSG. Ooh, man. And,
don't want
Real Madrid and Liverpool. I could already tell you like that Bayern PSG one, like that's going to have some real ramifications because basically, especially with the way those teams have been looking this year, whoever loses, it's going to be a major disappointment for them for this season. Of course, that's a rematch of last season's Champions League final. And yeah, how y'all feeling about Porto? I mean, Porto did not knock out Juve.
Not really worried about Porto, man. They were pretty good defensively, I'll say, but I defer to my first statement. Not really worried about Porto, to be quite honest. I think it's a culmination of just like having the right attitude, and Tuchel's been able to bring that to the squad, and there's definitely been a mentality change, or if not a mentality change, just like everyone's essentially switched on. Case in point is Marcus Alonso. So even Emerson, he had one touch last game or the game before. But yeah, so I think we'll be fine. The other games are much, much, much more tasty, in my opinion.
Are you guys hoping for the best against City, Rashad?
Hey, you can hope for the best, but man, I don't know.
I think you guys can do it, man. This is the thing with City. They're clinical at, failing in the Champions League.
That's
thing.
always true.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So I think Haaland just has, this is his breakout moment. I think Haaland and Reina, for Borussia Dortmund, this could be their breakout moment, potentially. And then, they'll have to get through the semi.
But the wings and the back line just have to hold. They have to hold. Otherwise, it's not gonna.
Who are you putting on De Bruyne? That's the question.
Mm. That's
Yep, that's a very good one.
that's all I really can say.
That's a very good question.
And that answer is absolutely 100% correct. You have no idea who could be.
Nobody.
Who's going to stop him?
I'm sure we still got United. We should be able to handle Granada. So we got something.
What's the theme song to Europa League again?
Whatever it is, Spurs.
That's right. Nobody knows it.
Whatever it is, Spurs blew it. So there's that. But yeah, man. Yeah.
Who do you think gets through on it? Or
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, we got there's Man United, Granada, Arsenal, Slavia Prague, Ajax, Roma. That was actually pretty tasty. And Dinamo Zagreb against Villarreal. I mean, I'm kind of just loosely following that one. I think my guys should be able to at least get through to the semis, and everybody else kick rocks.
Hey, that's wide open because you have. I heard no Benfica and I heard no Sevilla. So
yeah, there's no
basically
Sevilla.
between them, they've won the last 15. What seems like 15 out of 20. Yeah. So yeah,
we got a shot.
You're good.
We got a shot.
But you still got Granada and Villarreal representing La Liga. La Liga has won 15 in the last 20 Europa and Champions Leagues.
Europas. Yep.
Now, before we go into up to down, I did see that. For those of y'all who don't know, Crystal is capo with the San Jose Earthquakes. They put out a really touching video with you last week. For those of y'all who don't know, Crystal during the lockdown was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. And how are you doing right now?
I'm actually doing really good. So just had my 1-year anniversary with diagnosis. Disease is stable. At this point, there's no evidence of disease, which is the best you can have. So just riding it out at this point, feeling good, feeling almost pre-diagnosis, good. So just hoping it holds as long as possible and go out and enjoy my time. What time I got left. All you got to do.
Absolutely. I mean, we were talking about it on last week's show and in a 2 down. It's hard work getting old, and we definitely got to do whatever we can to stick around as long as we can. I got something in my 2 down this week, matter of fact, and it's definitely whatever we can do to keep you lifted up and here. Let's keep that thing going. But yes, let's see this beautiful shirt that you're rocking right now. Hey, let me get the
this one.
Hold on, real quick. Yeah, there we go. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give her the spotlight on this one. Hang on, real quick. There we go.
They're all even.
Yes, the racism counter T-shirt that you can find at FTCUTD.myshopify.com. This week you can still get 20% off on all with the promo code STEMI. Hopefully you haven't spent all of it right now on the all your money just yet. So if you have it, cop a T-shirt, cop a name set, and let's support the culture and everything. And that definitely, like I said, we definitely have been busy the past week. We just put it on Twitter. Something that I had hyped last week, but we showed it the day the Machal Chol name set, the homegrown player for Atlanta United, Bradley Hartlodge.
Pull the graphic up, sir.
Okay.
Talking work. Come on now.
But yeah, man, I think that it's actually one of one of my most favorite ones that I've done so far, because for those of y'all who did not follow Pokemon when you were like 13, there's a Pokemon called Machop, and like I said, we have a homegrown player here, Machop Chol, played in Wake Forest, and one of the supporters here said, "Hey, I want to do a dedication for him. See if I can work in the Pokemon into the number." And lo and behold, I actually came up with that in like 4 hours. Like from him giving me the idea to actually just try to figure like how it's going to work. 4 hours. It's probably one of the fastest ones that I've done. And he got it pressed. I think it was yesterday, and showed me the pictures, and yeah, it came out absolutely incredible. In fact, he told me that my child's family wants to get the same name sets as well. So looking forward to working with the Chol family and getting those name sets together for them, so they can rock our stuff at games and everything. And of course, you can get your own name sets too at FTCUTD.myshopify.com. You know, we go coast to coast, so Crystal, we can get some Quake stuff going. Like, I actually like that new kit. It's smooth.
Yes.
That's the 20th anniversary MLS Cup anniversary kit. Like, that's smooth.
Yeah, we love it. We were kind of tipped off that it was going to be a tribute, and so we were kind of trying to figure out how that was going to look. But yeah, I really, really love it. Love that they went back to the blue. So yeah, love to see what we can do.
Yeah, I think between y'all and LA, like, of course, back then MLS was still had teams with Nike, so the translation between Nike to Adidas actually worked out pretty well with the two tribute kits this year. Of course, DC did it last year with the 25th anniversary kit. I just wish the stripes were on the front. That's all I wish. Like,
and I don't think they're going to do that because of the shirt sponsor.
I think
they don't want to do it, which I think there's a way to do it. But
yeah. It is kind of like think outside the box, like, because like I always think back to like there's an Inter Milan kit that they had like 10, 12 years ago. They had like the shirt sponsor like right underneath the crest. Mm-hmm. It can work. It can absolutely work. Just
Yep.
They got to keep pushing it. But I said we'll in 2 weeks we'll have our full kit review episode. Next week we got a big fucking announcement next week. So stay tuned for that. We got a special guest for that announcement. So make sure you stick around for episode 107, and we'll be able to get with you guys. Let's wrap this up and get up and two down. TK, what you got? That means you, TK.
Sorry, I had to unmute my cheese. Sorry about that. That was a credible delay. I thought I unmuted myself twice before I actually did, so apologies for that. We'll cut that in post, don't worry about it, folks. Yeah, I just don't know if I have a...
You've been pretty up lately, so...
Yeah, man. I think things have been rolling. Honestly, I'm just, I guess... Yeah, things have been rolling. I got been getting called for gigs, so I'm happy and positive, thankful, blessed, all the good things to just kind of have things rolling my way for this first half of the year. Yeah, just looking forward to it. I guess the help would be my parents are gonna come visit this weekend, so it'll be very nice to get a chance to see them and interact with the grandbaby and all. I really don't think I have it down, man. Life is honestly. So, here's a down. I haven't ticked my magical number in my bank account yet. I'm just not there yet, guys. just not there. So y'all send me some love. The funding will all rain down upon me.
Cool.
Anyway, pass it off, man. I'm good over here. Life is lovely.
Cool. Mayor Kane.
All right. So,
are you in Nashville?
now I'm back in the metro area, but I'm on the north side.
Ooh, are you know what?
I'm north of the wall, but north of that,
He's way north of the wall.
way north of the wall.
Shut up from the wide.
All right, so I'm going to start with 2 downs since TK left off on that, and kind of want to identify the Boulder situation we touched on. They identified the suspects, and there's 10 people, of course, that unfortunately were casualty in the situation, but the shooter is facing 10 murder charges, of course, 10 counts of murder in the first degree. So, more details as things come along with that. But unfortunately, those people had to lose their life to senseless crime. Love goes out to their families and everyone involved in the situation. And then my other down, which hate to see this happen, but American football player Deshawn Watson, they came out and said he's facing 16 counts of, I think, sexual or civil assault from 7 women, or 7 additional women have come out. And it's bizarre because I follow him, and the things that they're saying, just saying he's a predator and this and that, I would have never guessed. And I wouldn't put that, I'm not saying I put it past him, but knowing his personality from afar is just something I wouldn't have put on him to be that type of person. But we'll see what happens as we go along. But we hopefully, that situation gets better for everyone involved with that. But on the upside, Megan Rapinoe, her and Steph Curry and all these other athletes have come together to fight Congress to pass the For the People Act. And what the For the People Act is to help expand on voter registration and online voter registration mandates federally. So, all of these guys are using their celebrity to come along, and there's other people, including Tom Hanks and DJ Khaled and Whoopi Goldberg and LL Cool J and all these other people that are down to support the penning of the For the People Act. And last but not least, a little funny little thing I kind of ran into this week. But you guys remember Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yeah, of course.
I know where you're going with this. Go ahead.
Oh, my God. So, Robin Williams, amazing guy. We actually share a birthday. So, late Robin Williams. I won't put this past them, but they said that there was enough content from those shoots that they could have made a PG, PG-13, a rated R, and a NC-17 cut of the film.
Wow.
WTF. Are you serious? What? Wait a minute. NC-17? Are you serious?
Get Zack Snyder on it.
Blown. But yeah, that's nuts. I don't think we'll ever see a rated R version of Mrs. Doubtfire, but if we ever have the chance, I'm lining up to see that. But yeah, I just wanted to leave off.
Speak it into existence.
Yeah.
That's got to happen. That definitely has to happen. That's all you got?
That's my 2 up, 2 down.
Cool. Mayor Wine, let's just take a shot. What you got, man?
So I'll start with a couple of downs. The first one, I just want to show support and solidarity for the Asian community. I know they're going through a lot right now. I know you guys are going through a lot down in Atlanta with the shootings that happened down there. I know the mayor, the other mayor, I'm the other mayor, I'm sorry, the primary mayor on this podcast shouted out the Boulder shootings. But the ones that happened in Atlanta were kind of taken aback because it was twofold. One, it was an attack against the Asian community, and it was an attack against women. And with this being Women's History Month, with this, 24th Wednesday being Equal Pay Day, like, we have a long way to go. And everyone should be feeling hurt for that community down in Atlanta who is going through that. So I just want to send a shout out to them and just really show solidarity with them, show them some love because they need it. And I know that, a lot of friends of mine have reached out to me in these last few months with the social justice movement and everything that's been going on. I want to do the same thing for them. They deserve it. They need it. And, we need to show that we are here for them as well because we're all sharing the same fight. And all of us are in this together as when we talk about equality, we don't just talk about it for Black people. We talk about it for everybody. So I want to make sure that they know that we are with them in that. So that was the first one. The second one is things have been really stressful. So, and it kind of leads into an up as well. Things have been very stressful for me lately. Crystal has been kind of I've confided in her in a few things, but it's been a wild time for me. This last year has been really bad. Grego, we talked about this. I lost my mom back in August. I'm still feeling the effects of that. That's not something that ever really goes away, and I'm trying to deal with that. But the source of my strength was her, and that strength, when I need it, she was there, and right now she's not. So I gotta figure out where that strength is going to come from. And people always tell me, "Yeah, you're a strong dude," but like every source of strength has a source of strength, and right now I have to find a new source. But it does lead me into the up and up in that we are starting to, I've been showing so much love by so many people, people who have reached out and Grego, you and I have talked about some of these things and just what that feels like, that stress, that strain, that pain. But it's leading to a lot of uplift because right now we have something that could get us back to where we can be each other's source of strength. And that is the fact that more and more people are getting vaccinated and being protected against coronavirus. I'm, thankful that my dad and my brother and I have all gotten a double dose in that Dolly. Shout out Dolly Parton. Thank you for funding this because no one else was going to. But so many of my friends are starting to get it now. And, if you're out there, like if we want to get back to some sort where we could just go out and just, dap it up with people, hug each other, like be in each other's company. It's starting to become springtime. It's going to become summer soon. We need to make sure that we stay on top of that. And I think right now that finish line is there. We can see it and we just got to run through it. We can't start high stepping on the 20 like Dion used to do because we don't have the football. So we have to make sure.
Tell your boys in Miami or everybody who came down for spring break, chill the fuck out.
Yeah. And I was there a year ago last year, and man, they were wilding in too. And I need everybody to chill out. We are so close. I just need everybody to just focus on the finish line. Usain Bolt didn't set no speed records by lollygagging halfway through the race. Well, sometimes he did because he was that fast, but he ran through the line every single time, and we need to do that as a society. So I'm hoping that we can do that, and I think I feel very optimistic that we're getting close. So for those of you out there who feel like, man, everyone's getting vaccinated but me, your time is coming. Stay patient, stay vigilant, and pretty soon it'll be summertime. We'll have some matches to go to, and we can start to bring the fun back. And that's really what keeps me going is that I know I'm going through hell right now. But hopefully the goal of it is that come summertime, the fun will be there and the people will be there. We'll all be able to, kick back and, shout out to Ford Madison and Richmond Kickers because the Henny Derby better have fans this year. You already know what's going down.
You already know, yes.
Cuatro.
Good. I have enough Henny for 4 of them. So we need to, but to do that, we need to make sure we're all being safe. So hopefully everyone out there continues to be safe. Even if you're vaccinated like me, continue to stay vigilant. Protect your friends, protect your family, protect your loved ones so that we can all celebrate the summer. And really, because we have 2 summers to celebrate for. We have life to celebrate for. And I think we owe it to ourselves to run through that finish line so that we can get back to doing all the fun things that we love doing. So hopefully everyone out there staying safe. And again, thank you guys for letting me have this platform. Thank you guys for sharing your platform with us as great as it is. You guys have been the pinnacle for podcasts. So I appreciate you having me on finally. And we'll do this again soon. We'll be able to wrap it up in person pretty soon, I hope.
Yeah, absolutely. Two things there, of course, with everything with your mom and your family, I hope everything's been, recovering as best as possible because I know, it's like, you can't replace your mom. It's just impossible. And so hopefully, you, your dad, your brother are healing as best as possible. And of course, me, having followed DC for so long, I still haven't been to the new stadium yet, and that's something that I absolutely want to go to. And anyone that's followed DC did as long as you have, as long as I did, that was a big deal to finally get that stadium done. So that's still something that I still want to do, and I still want to get up there. Hopefully, again, we're not that far away, so hopefully we can get that done at some point this year.
And I got to get back to the Gulch. You already know how I do in the Gulch. So
I don't know where we're going to be this year.
Hey man, you might need to come down here.
I know, right?
Later. I drove through downtown and it's looking real shadowy. You know what I mean?
Crystal, bed and cleanup. Let's get it in.
Oh man, put me in the spot here now after Donald. So my 2 downs, couple, trying to be real positive with everything with going on with me. So I try not to be too down, take shit too seriously. I think the one thing that resonates really is the Asian hate crimes. Cause we had everything that happened in Atlanta, but prior to that, I don't know how much gets out across national news, but we had a rash of hate crimes in the Bay Area, in Oakland, San Francisco. And it just, attacking our Asian elders and not cool. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, where I live, it's 39% Asian. So this shit ain't cool. It needs to stop. And so that's my down. And I mean, we stand with the Asian community. Donald kind of mentioned it. We all have to go together. Women, we got our struggles, and then all the people of color have their own struggles. But if we can come together, make the world a better place. I know that's very kumbaya, but that's what has to happen. My other down, like I said, I try not to get too down on shit, but this last week, just being in supporter groups, Donald was a little bit a part of hearing all this bullshit, but I don't normally get on anything with NWSL, but there was some shit with Angel City FC, and I've been helping them out a little bit over there with their owner, them having an investor come in that does not fulfill or meet the standards that they try and hold themselves to, and then the club not holding him accountable, not upholding any of their values, saying that, David Dobrik, he's left. They knew this shit was a problem for weeks. They admitted it was a problem behind the scenes, but don't do shit in front of anybody to say that, we condone that, all his actions, potentially, assault, filming a rape. I mean, how can you let this be a part of your team in any way, shape, or form? When your supporters groups are sitting there calling on you, you need to do something, and you just sit there and turn a blind eye. Fuck that. I'm sorry. I don't stand with that. And, for me, I really haven't picked an NWSL team because, I'm in the Bay, and we don't really love everything LA. So it's not really I really want to pick them. and they sure as hell ain't winning me over with none of this shit. So that's my down there. Like, stand up for women, stand up for consent. Shit was not cool, and a little bit of rant over there. So that was my little bit of support. Positive, my 2-ups. So I'm a high risk patient, having lung cancer, and it's been a fight across the U.S. for us to get vaccinated for COVID. Like, I don't know how much people know about that, but literally it is not prioritized in any way, shape, or form. If I were to get COVID, it is bad news. I mean, flat out, almost 40% chance, 60% chance I will not be able to continue my cancer medications if I was not hospitalized. And I'm already a stage 4 patient. So that shit is not just, like, so anyway, California changed it. As of March 15th, we could actually get our vaccines. I don't know how I got hella lucky, but a friend of mine said, hey, go check your provider. They might already have vaccine appointments available. And lo and behold, I got my first vaccine on March 15th. So I will have my second vaccine on the 7th of April. And guess what that means? 2 weeks and 3 days after that, San Jose Earthquakes first home game, I will be in like Flynn. I will be vaccinated, good to go. So that's my 1-up. My 2nd up is kind of related to that. Got an email today and some communications with the Earthquakes. We weren't sure about, supporters stuff, but it looks like we will actually have seating and we will have, standing, all the accommodations. California is so strict, and Santa Clara County, where I live, we were those folks that shut the whole shit down. We were the first in the nation to shut down for COVID. So it was not going to be easy for us to get back in the stands. And I do appreciate that they're taking like all this really seriously and all the precautions that they've had throughout the whole year. But I'm just ready to get back to business as usual and to living, because I ain't got time left. Like, so ready to get in the stands.
Absolutely. Again, thank you guys for coming on with us. Let me wrap this up real quick with my 2-up. Quick down. I actually just got word a little while ago that my had a cousin that passed away, so I just want to get my thoughts out to my cousin Sierra for the passing of her mom. And it sucks because like we're a real tight knit family. Like we're big as fuck, but we try to be there for each other. And of course, with COVID, it kind of makes being actually their person, tough. So I just want to give my love to her and her dad and everything. On a lighter note, my other down is everyone's bracket probably went to shit as far as the NCAA tournament. Surprisingly, my final 4 picks are still good. Donald, I still got Michigan boys. Actually, I actually have the women at all. So even though Tony ain't here this week, I actually have Michigan winning the whole thing. Of course, we have the FTC tournament challenge on ESPN, and I think Government Cheese, Pat, you're actually leading right now. So I said we're gonna see how long that lasts, but I got it's Gonzaga, Michigan, Houston, and I forgot the 4th one. I have to go back and look at it, but like I said, right now I'm still holding up. So like I said, I know without livers it might be a little trouble, but like I said, we gonna see how that goes, Donald. But
Gonzaga can go out in the semifinal.
Hey, you never know. Like I said, like there's been so many upsets. Like the one that actually kind of surprised me was USC blowing out Kansas, and I definitely didn't see that one coming. But
they beat the brakes off Kansas. My God.
But I said, and of course that leads into on a related note, the women's tournament down in San Antonio. Of course, a big thing that happened over the weekend was that one of the players put out on social media like how the women's setup for their gym was compared to what the men had. The men had basically like a whole Valley Fitness set up, and like the women basically had like something that you would see at my apartment complex, like just like a one rack of weights, and that was pretty much it. And for the NCAA, it's supposed to be equal. It's not that World Cup shit. It's not that World Cup shit where it's supposedly equal. It's supposed to be actually equal. And the NCAA got called out always from Sunday until they finally got it right now. They responded quickly, but just the fact that it was unequal in the first place, they know they're wrong. And you can even go to the social medias, them promoting only the men's compared to not even acknowledging the women's tournaments. Like, it's shit like that, if you actually like just go into it, there's so many inequities as far as, what the coverage that the men get compared to the women. And if you watch any of these women's games, they're good as shit. So it is not something, it's not a coincidence. It's something that if you actually just take the time to watch and not just dog it because it's just women, I'm like, yeah, like you actually would see that they warrant that equality, and they should have already got it to begin with. And that kind of leads to my last NCAA thing. Shout out to our boy Moby Akugo with 2 Cents and Austin Bold. Just put out a shirt, NCAA shirt saying Non-Compensated Athletes Association. We'll probably put a link out in the show notes, but every shout out to that. We actually did a project with them with 2 Cents a while back for with their jerseys. Just a heads up for that. If they don't show it on their podcast, they should be on the way out probably next week, because I actually did the name sets myself on their jerseys, so they look good. So I think that those of y'all that ordered those 2 Cents jerseys, y'all will definitely like the final product. And also one last note as far as passings, Mauricio Facio with LAFC 3252, their vice president, he passed away from COVID this past weekend. I know his face from a lot of social media pictures. I didn't know him personally, but I know obviously he was a very big deal with their community. And it goes to show you that even with these vaccines going on, you still gotta stay masked up. Still gotta at least adhere to some kind of social distancing, because we're not at the point yet where nobody's catching it whatsoever, and people are still dying from it. So, from us here at FTC, we want to give our love to the entire LAFC community, and it's just too many people out here dying. Because, like I said, it's hard as hell to get old, dude. Like I said, take care of yourself out here. But I want to end on a good note, but I'm a bit petty. If y'all know about Derek Jackson, just amuse yourself for a bit. Just amuse yourself. But that's all I really got for this week. That's all we got for this week. Again, thank you to Donald, Crystal, for coming on to the show this week. Where can they find y'all on the socials?
So me, C Cuadra, Cuadra. I know that's hard to pronounce for some folks because it looks crazy because it has a C, but it sounds like a Q. Keep that in mind. So CCUADRA, then the number 8. That's both on Instagram and on Twitter.
And I'm at BlazinDW, BLAZINDW, and that is also on Twitter and IG. Or hopefully this summer, just find us both at a tailgate, find us both in the stands. We're both easy, approachable, and love to talk to people and rap about this beautiful game.
Watch out. I'm a hugger. Watch out.
This summer I will be too. I haven't seen people in years, so.
Absolutely. Of course, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at FTC
UTD.
Well, you didn't even say anything. Was your mic muted, Rashad? That's okay. I appreciate you.
Muted. I was caught it with him, and I was like, can hear me.
But again, next week we got a very big announcement, so make sure that you catch us next week. Again, get your orders in. Promo code STEMMY. Like I said, hopefully you haven't spent it all. I'm moving this week, so I'll be busy. But until next week, for TK, for Mayor, for both mayors, for Crystal. We'll see y'all soon. The culture's real. The culture's everywhere. We out here.